welcome to Makeup Minis. We've just come on a little bit earlier and we're going to talk to you about, or Kate's going to talk to you about melasma, what it is, treatment, and I'm going to talk about how to cover up melasma. So I'm going to ask Kate some questions. So first of all, what is melasma?
So melasma is basically hyperpigmentation of skin. It's also sometimes called chloasma.
Right, okay.
And also if you get it when you're pregnant, which some women do, it's called, I think it's pregnancy mask.
Yeah, I'm more aware of that than melasma actually.
Okay, so it's the same thing, it's just got different names for some reason. And as I said, it's basically sort of hyperpigmentation of skin. So your skin tends to be darker than normal in patches, either sort of a browny colour or a kind of grey colour. And it tends to be on your face, usually in sort of a symmetrical pattern. So you can get it on your forehead, on your cheeks, on your upper lip, on your chin. You can also get it on your neck, and rarely, but not unknown, because I have it, on your forearms. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it in this light.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Can see here.
So I've got really bad, well, not bad, they're just age spots, as we used to call them. And then here I have a big patch of brown skin, and then again on there, on the arm there. So it's not itchy, shouldn't be itchy.
Yeah.
If it's melasma or sore, it's not raised at all.
Okay.
It's completely flat.
Yeah.
It gets worse in the summer, and then it fades in the winter. So I have it on my neck as well. The other side of my neck here.
So is that what actually causes it to come out?
So nobody really knows exactly what the exact cause of melasma is, so kind of why people get it. But what it is it's where the cells in the skin, so it's at a deeper level that it kind of is triggered in your skin cells, and it's the cells that produce pigmentation, melanin. They just produce too much of it. Okay. So that's what it is. What causes it isn't absolutely known, and it can be, there are different factors that are involved. So a big one, which is really why mainly women get it, is it can be hormone related.
Right.
So which is hence why some women get it in pregnancy, and some women, if you do get it when you're pregnant, in some cases after you're pregnant and you're giving birth, some cases it can go. Yeah. It can fade and go away. It might come back if you get pregnant again. And in some cases women get it when they're pregnant and it doesn't go completely. Yeah. So the contraceptive pill can be a kind of contributing factor. Yeah. HRT, so kind of hormone related. There's some evidence that stress can be involved, and also thyroid conditions, which I have as well. So I wonder whether that's kind of something behind why I kind of like developed it. But that's quite rare, and obviously kind of heat. So not just sunshine, heat, sunbeds, sunshine, they can all kind of be contributing factors as well.
Right.
So it's not, it's one of those things that we know what's happening. We don't exactly know for everybody why it happens. It could be a mass of different reasons why some people get it and why other people don't get it. Yeah. And I don't think it's strictly genetic, but I think there tends to be a sort of tendencies in families to have it, if that kind of makes sense.
Right, yeah.
So that's broadly what melasma is.
Okay. And how can it be cured?
There's no cure for it. So if you go looking at skincare counters because you've got a patch of melasma and it's bothering you and you wanted to go and find a product to try and get rid of it, don't believe all the hype. There's no real cure for melasma. There's nothing really that's going to make it go away. Certainly not over-the-counter creams. So there's no one cure that's going to get rid of it.
So even if they went to the GP, would be anything different there? They would say.
No, I mean, I guess it's a skin condition, but it's not one that's got any other worrying things about it other than cosmetic.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think a GP would necessarily do anything about it.
Okay.
If you wanted to go and see a dermatologist, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end, that's definitely an option.
Right.
But The only issue with melasma really is that it's cosmetic, and that it, you know, some women get it and they get it quite severe, and they're more bothered by it than others. What I get, I'm not really worried by it. Every now and again I will catch a glimpse of my arms in the height of summer and go, oh my god, they're really dark, or my neck, but to be honest, it doesn't really worry me.
Right. Okay. So you've said it can't be cured.
Yeah.
So is there any treatment?
There is stuff that we can do. There's always stuff that we can do. People's melasma is probably very different from one person to the next, so it might be caused by one thing in one and one thing in another person. I think depending on how long you've had it can perhaps make it a little bit more tricky to kind of treat.
Is it, sorry,
no, it's fine.
Is it, do you find that, I know you said it's mainly women that get it, but do you find it at a certain age? Or does that have any?
No, the research that I've done definitely links it to hormones, and I would have been perimenopausal when it came for me, but that was also around the time that my thyroid became underactive, so I don't know. I mean, you know, when we get into perimenopausal and menopausal stages, our hormones are all over the place, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a link.
Yeah, and I suppose if it is hormone related, there's lots of like maybe triggers, as you said before. Could be stress, could be pregnancy,
definitely,
that kind of
definitely.
thing. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's not it's going to happen at a certain age group.
No.
Okay.
And it can appear really quickly. Mine came in my head. Looking back, it was almost like one summer it wasn't there, and the next summer it was there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't kind of like a gradual, oh, they're getting darker and darker. I mean, they've definitely got darker over the years.
Yeah.
But that first sort of, you know, when I first noticed it, it seemed to be not there 1 year and then the next year it was there. So that's...
All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, what can you do about it?
Okay, so Kate made me do a bit of work on this.
I'm just going to do a bit more first.
Oh, right, sorry. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, you're not at all. So there are some things that we can do about it.
Okay.
And I think the easiest way to think about it is to think about it in kind of like treating it in a seasonal way.
Right.
So in the summer, what you're wanting to think about is prevention. You're wanting to think about protecting your skin. So good high SPF, broad spectrum, UVA, UVB.
Yeah.
Put it on nice and thickly. Keep applying it. That's a goodie. So that's obviously like preventing it getting worse. And then the other thing is also, you know, the best sun advice really is keep out of the sun.
Yeah.
So your SPF is really like a backup.
Yeah.
The best thing is avoid going out, especially in the middle of the day when it's hottest. So either cover up or stay in the shade, and always wear your SPF. So they're the things to do that you're not going to stop it from emerging more in the summer months, but that's going to help
right? Yeah.
to not make it flare up's not the right word, but help to make it not so severe.
Yeah.
So that's your winter goal really, is to make sure you're protecting your skin as much as you possibly can. In the winter, really what you want to be thinking about is trying to kind of reduce and improve the appearance of it. And I'd say in your arsenal there, you've probably got about 3 things really to think about using. One is vitamin C, which we've talked about before. So that's a brightening product, and that will help with the discoloration. Yeah. Having a vitamin A product in your skincare routine, so a kind of retinol product, use at night, is really good. And also a chemical exfoliant, so like an acid toner. So we've talked about those before. Lactic acid or salicylic or glycolic, if your skin's okay with that. So those 3 things in the winter, you can kind of help to improve the appearance of it. If you're really bothered, I would say your best bet is to go and see a dermatologist. So spend your money on that rather than on over-the-counter creams. Because there are new lasers coming on board all of the time that can kind of sort of improve the appearance of it. There's chemical peels, which are kind of a bit stronger than the chemical exfoliant you'd do.
Are these more like, are they permanent solutions or temporary?
No, in my view, nothing will ever make it go. What it will do is in those winter months, it will help to kind of take it down.
Yeah.
In the summer, what you would need to do is you'd need to go full on your protection, keep out the sun, keep your SPFs on, and it still might come back a little bit. So there's no real one thing that you can do that's going to make it go away and make it go away forever.
Okay.
And I think the biggest thing is we all look in our faces in the mirror and go, I don't like that, I don't like that.
Oh yeah, I do that every day.
And the absolute truth of it is that nobody else sees us in as critical light as we do.
No.
People see a smiley face, nice eyes, happy, don't see the things that bother us. So I would say it's one of those that, you know, unless you're really, really bothered, most people won't even notice it.
No.
It'll get a little bit worse in the summer, it'll get better in the winter.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this one was such a good joint live for us to do, because I think if you are bothered about it, get some really good makeup concealing tricks under your belt and sort of deal with it that way. So that's
my cue.
Jackie's realm.
Okay, I'm just going to reiterate what Kate said. First of all, it is really important that you use a high SPF and a good quality sunscreen, because whilst makeup has SPFs in it, it is not going to be enough. You put on your sunscreen different to what you put your makeup on, and also the SPF is going to be a lot lower. You might also want to think about when you're choosing a sunscreen, Kate, you can confirm this as well, maybe choosing a sunscreen that doesn't have chemicals in. If your skin's sensitive, choosing one that doesn't have all these harsh chemicals in, because I don't know, it might aggravate it more. So that's just something to consider as well. So when I did my bit of research, I was actually quite surprised. I have learned about camouflage makeup.
Yeah.
But when Kate mentioned this, it made me do my homework on it, which was good, because actually it opened a bit more of. I've not had a client like this, so it's always good to know and be prepared for this. So there's a couple of options, and I think it depends on the size of your pigment
it covers.
And basically what coverage you want. Do you want full coverage, or do you still want it to look quite natural? And I think it's really going to be a lot of trial and error when choosing sort of some kind of cover up. So if it's a fairly small area, then you could just maybe use your normal foundation if you wear foundation, and then just use a peach orange toned concealer on top of that, just to cover those areas. Or if you don't wear foundation, you could just conceal it. Now this is because concealer is generally just used for small imperfections, so it really does depend on the size, maybe where it's located, because as Kate said, it's not on the arm, on your face all the time. It could be in other areas. So just consider that. If it is a larger area, and you want full coverage and you want to think about camouflaging it more, then there are makeup products out there that are specifically for camouflaging, or there's full coverage foundations, BB creams, CC creams. So I've had a look at, there was actually I suppose like a Melasma forum, and they gave sort of kind of some of the best ones that they found, the foundations and BB and CC creams. So I'm just going to let you know what ones I found. So I'm reading a little bit because I probably won't remember every brand. Again, if your skin is a bit sensitive, you might want to look at your foundations and see that they're paraben free, fragrance free, that kind of thing. Hypoallergenic. Long wearing is key, because if you are camouflaging, you probably want it to last a long time. So one of the products out there is Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Cover, and it's actually called Camouflage Makeup for Face and Body. Alright. Full coverage, SPF 15. So again, I would still consider, especially if you're going to be out in the way the weather is at the moment, it's really nice. Still wearing a higher sunscreen. It's long wearing, 12 hours they proclaim, waterproof, and it's natural looking, and it's a matte finish. So that's one you could consider. One that I've known about when I was doing my training was Dermablend. Again, you'll find a lot of them are full coverage foundations or BBCC creams. This one has an SPF 25. Again, long wearing, up to 16 hours, hydrating. It's chemical free, vegan, cruelty free. It says it's lightweight, but I read some reviews and some reviewers found it actually quite heavy. So again, it's all trial and error. I think you're just going to have to find out what works for you. Other makes are Kat Von D, Makeup Forever High Definition, and Cover FX as well. Maybe a less expensive foundation is your Revlon Airbrush. I think it's photo ready, so that's maybe around, I don't know, 12 to 13 pounds. That might be a cheaper option, because all these other options I've given you are probably at least £30 or more. So BBCC creams. Now, I've recently found out about It Cosmetics. I don't know if you've heard about them.
They've got a really good CC cream apparently.
So I thought, right, what does that mean? Innovative technology. So I was listening to a lot of their sort of videos yesterday. So they have CC, I think it's CC cream, full coverage, SPF 50, which is great, it's a high one, paraben free, cruelty free. This product is 7 benefits in one. So it'll be full coverage, SPF 50, UVA, UVB, which is really good, you know, that spectrum. It's a primer, covers your dark pigmentation, also conceals, brightens, anti-aging and moisturising. So perfect. It's actually £30. You used to be able to get it online, like QVC or these kind of places, but they're actually in Boots in Glasgow.
Are they?
Yes. So I knew they were launching in June, and I had a look and I thought, right, I knew they'd be in larger stores, and they're actually in Glasgow at the moment. So there's a counter there for It Cosmetics. So I don't think that's brilliant.
That's had really good reviews. I've seen online.
It has had really good reviews, and you know, you might just get away with that. Again, it's all trial and error. So that's one product. Jane Iredale Glow Time Mineral BB Cream. That's another one that's had good reviews. Full coverage, water resistant, hydrating, SPF 25. That one's £40. So they're just some foundations and CC creams I've come across. The next bit is conceal. So you still might feel you want to use a concealer. If you think of concealer is more fixing your small imperfections, and some concealers are more about highlighting certain areas.
Okay.
So with this, you're really colour correcting, okay, and then you might want to conceal as well. So you're going to need to choose a shade quite close to your skin tone, not too light, because again, this is generally for highlighting. So you're looking for something that's peach toned to balance out the kind of the darker spots. So I've got one just to show you what I mean by peach toned. So this is a little colour correcting. I don't know if you can see very well. You can see there's a green, there's a yellow, lilac, and more like a lighter one, and then there's this peachy toned one. So this is actually, so it might look quite dark, but see, once you actually start blending it into your skin, it's actually really quite a lot lighter, because I know that looks quite dark. If you think, oh, I'm going to put that on my skin, but then if you've got dark discoloration, that's probably just going to blend in quite well. So that's your colour corrector. You can also use a concealer, and again, try and use maybe a shade that, just something like this. This is a little bit darker. This is Arbonne's. This is used for, you can use it for highlight, but you can also use it to cover up blemishes, dark spots as well. But again, it's making sure you get the shade right.
Would you still powder over that? Is that still best practice to sort of set it?
Always, so I'm going to go through the application. No, it's fine. So some concealers I found, I mean, I've just showed you a couple there, but other ones are, again, in this Melasma forum, they were recommending Pixie, which is in M&S, or you can buy it online. And again, it was like a peachy colour. Urban Decay, Maybelline Age Rewind, and It Cosmetics, again, they've got concealers. So how to apply it? So again, it depends on if you want to go down the camouflage route. So we'll go through that. So you're going to still do your cleanse, tone and moisturise steps. Again, if you go out in the sun, make sure you apply a sunscreen. And that, again, it depends on where you're going. Obviously, if you're abroad and it's really hot, I think, as you said, I think the heat exacerbates it
Just
as well.
heat, right? Yeah, not even just sunshine.
And then your next stage would be a primer. Now also with primers out there, you can get primers that colour correct as well. So Smashbox and NYX, I've got primers that have got that peachy tone. So that could help as well. And then this is where you choose your cover up. So if you've got a camouflage, you're gonna use your peachy toned colour correcting little set, and you're going to use this colour, and you're going to use really small amounts to build up your coverage. You're going to apply it over the dark patches. You can use your fingers, you can just kind of tap it on, don't rub it, spread it, because you're just actually going to take it off again. If you're using a brush, stipple it. So if you get a stippling brush and just stipple around that area as well. And then you kind of blend in outwardly to kind of make it look all even.
So is that a key thing as well, Jackie, to sort of go in gently at first, apply a little bit, stand back, have a look, and then apply perhaps a little bit more. Don't put a lot on in one go. Build up.
Always thin layers. Just really start small and thin layers and just build up, just see how it, and just always check back. What else? So then you might want to apply your foundation, so just apply your foundation on way, but just be conscious of this area that you kind of blending it in, and again, don't just kind of rub it all over, because you might end up taking some of that concealer away, colour corrector away. So yeah, just kind of go around that area. Again, if you're using a brush, use your stippling motion, or if you're using your fingers, or the same with a sponge, just kind of tap lightly. Don't over blend, as I've said, because as you say, you will be removing makeup. The next bit is you're going to use a setting powder, which just sets it all in, keeps it in place, makes it last longer. So translucent powder or finishing powder is absolutely fine. And press it into the skin. Don't brush it, kind of press, again, tap in, or you're going to be using a brush anyway, but just kind of tap it into those areas just to set it all, and then just brush off any excess that you might have. Hi Jennifer, hi Kirsty. So you might feel this is time consuming doing all these stages, and it's all down to your individual, what you prefer. But I've just mentioned some products out there might actually be enough by just using, like It Cosmetics, they claim that you don't need anything else. So you could skip some of the camouflage bit. It really is down to how you feel, what coverage you actually want. Another option, Kate introduced me to, is she a beauty blogger? Am I getting that right?
Sally Hughes.
Yeah.
She writes for The Guardian, so she writes their beauty column in The Guardian every Saturday in the weekend magazine, but she's also, she's a writer, she's a journalist, but she mainly writes about beauty. She's got good books out, and actually if you want a really good thing to watch on YouTube, she does In the Bathroom With series, so she's just done one with Caitlin Moran.
Right.
Remember Raised by Wolves? She's a little bit sweary, but that's all right. So her In the Bathroom series is hilarious, but she knows everything that you want to know about beauty, and she has a very pragmatic, not mega expensive products, and she's just really good.
Yeah. So again, I looked it up, Sally Hughes, because Kate had mentioned, and what she'd said is that she has melasma.
Yeah.
And she said what she tends to do in the summer months is, instead of using concealers or colour correcting, she will just actually buy like a facial tanner, something that's darker, that's going to match the darkest areas, and she just uses that. Instead of making it lighter, she makes it darker, and just obviously blends that all in. So that is another option. Try what actually works for you.
So she just brings the rest of her skin tone more in line with her patches that she's got, and just it softens it rather than covers it, doesn't it? Yeah. It's not as obvious.
So so that's another option for you. So I think that's pretty much me. If you've got any questions on melasma for Kate, then just put it in the comments below. Anything about the application or any of the products, I will list them in the comments actually. But this has been really interesting for me, and actually it's really good for if I do have a client in the future, because I'll be honest, I haven't come across a client, so it's been really good.
It's really common though. I'm surprised you've not had anybody. But
I've not had nobody's. Because I always ask, got any skin allergy, something I ever need to be aware of, and I haven't come across that. So thank you for that, Kate.
You're all right.
But do you want to add anything?
No, I think we've covered everything really.
So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you for the next one. Haven't decided what I'm doing next, but we'll be on next.
And actually, if you guys have got any suggestions for what you want us to cover, you can put them in the comments. We can see if we could do those.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.